everyone.
Hello.
And welcome to Kirsty and Bryony's Comfort Zone.
I am Kirsty.
And I am Bryony.
And we are going to listen to one dream. Only one.
One dream.
One
That's all you're
dream.
getting. One in brackets, one dream.
We don't want to spoil you.
A lot. Yeah, you've gone too dream greedy recently.
Yeah, you need to
having to
calm
put you
down.
on a dream diet. And it's not from me. Plot twist.
Plot twist.
Spoiler
it's
alert.
me.
Yeah, I've actually just I haven't had such like a dream gush. I've now got a dream drought.
Ah,
I
so
can't
there we
think
go.
of the word.
Now it's my turn to take the dream reins and dream
And
with gay
ride
abandon.
that dream pony to Dream Kingdom. I don't know. That's one of those metaphors will stick, right? Yeah, I have been having dreams. This sounds really
that's
defensive.
good.
I have.
I promise.
Like, don't go saying I haven't. No, but I have. But the problem is, right, so
They're all too
Alex
sexy.
has started, they're just filth. So
Too
we're going to record
damn
those
sexy.
for our Patreon and do the sexy episodes afterwards, which you can pay extra for. Alex has started doing this thing, this like exercise thing. We finally did the thing that you do in your mid-30s and we were like, we're going to get a membership to an exercisey type shenanigan. Mm-hmm. So we got that and Alex gets up every morning and goes. I have done it twice.
I don't know how people do it. It's insane. I don't know how Alex does it.
He books it in for like 7 a.m. and goes. And I'm like,
Jeez.
what?
Like, how do you not just wake up and be like, nah, I'm going to stay in bed?
I know, like that's what I do. Me, a normal person, that is what I do.
Me, a normal person.
Whereas Alex, with his
normal
drive, he gets up and he does these things. But the problem is, I will have dreams and I will remember them at like 6:30 when I'm being woken up because he's leaving.
Right.
But then I'll fall asleep and I won't dream in that time. And then I will have forgotten the dreams by the time I wake up the second time. And I'm too sleepy to record them when I wake up the first time. And it's like I have erasing sleep where I just forget. It's like I save over my previous dream with just guff. And then, it's gone.
It's interesting that you don't dream like after you've been woken up because I find that that's when I dream the most. Like the dream I had today was literally as I woke up. Like when the dream ended, I was like, right, time to wake up and get out of bed. It was just as I was getting ready to start my day.
Oh. I don't think it's a rule of thumb for me. I think the problem is the timing of it. If I like woke up and went back to sleep at a different time, I think it'd be okay. But because of the time of it being when people are going to work and outside our house is very busy, I think I just don't get into deep enough sleep.
Right.
So I'm on this like sort of annoying, should I get up? No, I'll get a bit more honk shoe. No, I should get up. And then I end up
honk shoe me.
I get up at like 8:30 eventually. So it's like it's not enough good sleep in that time.
Yeah,
for me to have dreams.
That's fair.
So what I'm saying is that Alex exercising is ruining my podcast. So
wow, get him to stop. So inconsiderate. I cannot believe this. But no, I get it. Like when I was in Bristol this weekend, we stayed in a Travelodge near the centre, and the road was right outside our window, and the traffic was so loud. Like it didn't stop me from sleeping, like at all. Like I'm fine with that. I'm fine with noise. I can sleep to traffic. It's quite relaxing. But I didn't dream. And maybe a part of it is that, like, all the noise outside just sort of stopping me from having that, I don't know, dreamy state.
Yeah. I think it's like, for me, like, if ever I'm trying to get to sleep and there's traffic going by, it immediately wakes me up, which is really bad when you live next to a very busy road. But I think it's because I grew up in a very quiet place and I think I'm just used to Like quiet times.
Peace.
Like the sort of place I grew up is like, it's exciting if occasionally you hear like the clip clop of hooves down the road and you know you're going to see a horse, and like the whole family would run to the window and be like, there's a horse outside. Like, it's that sort of, there's not much goes on. It's quiet. It's nice. You hear the owls, the screaming of tawny owls, which is like the least calming owl in the world.
Yelling outside the window.
Yeah. It's peaceful. You know, fox X at 3 a.m. just, yeah. You're like, oh, there they go.
I remember that, like,
nature.
When I lived with my parents, like, we lived in a really quiet village, and whenever people would come to visit, like, we lived quite close to Luton Airport, and like the planes would fly over and people would be like, does that not keep you up at night? Like, do the plane noises not keep you up? And it's like, you only hear them because there is nothing else to hear. It's so quiet here. Like, the odd, it's not going to do anything.
It's weird because, like, growing up, my like best friend and my boyfriend many a moon ago both happened to live right by railway lines. So in two separate towns, one was in Herts, one was in Kent. But those were like the two houses I would go to the most that weren't mine. And they would both have times where like a train would go by, everything would start rattling, you know, teacup in a saucer, rattling, typical thing. And no reaction from anyone else. And I'd just be like, but they're just so used to it. Like being an everyday thing, like every half hour or whatever.
Yeah, you just start to tune it out.
Everything shakes. Yeah. Whereas we were very, very peaceful. And I miss that. I really want to go and just stay in a place that doesn't have traffic. Like when we went to the Scilly Isles, they say they're silly, but they're actually very sensible, and they don't have cars on the islands. And on Tresco, they do have some vehicles, but they're like electric vehicles. And there's no lampposts, so once it's dark, it's just dark, and it's so nice. It's peaceful.
Oh, that does sound nice.
Actually, being able to see stars at
chill.
night instead of vague Bristol
vague blobs.
Light. Yeah, just light pollution. Oh, it's so lovely.
Oh, I love light pollution so much. It is so nice. That reminds me of. I mean, I'm sort of just going off topic here, but.
No, we never.
We would never do that. A few years back, I had a friend with a telescope, and we would like drive around and find places nearby that didn't have as much light pollution. Like there were a couple of places in Bedfordshire that were pretty good for setting up a telescope and just doing a peepers. And it was just so nice just sitting out in the dark and looking up all the stars without all the horrible lights just ruining it.
Yeah. I miss being able to do that. Like, it's like when we went on a cruise up Norway, and like to the very top of Norway. Well, not the very top, but Alta, which is like very near the top. And even though, okay, so I fully appreciate now in hindsight that cruises are horrendous for like just they're very ecologically damaging, but I didn't know this at the time. So please forgive.
Please forgive.
When we were there, like just being able to go out and stand on the stand on the deck and look at, like, you could just look up and just watch the northern lights and stuff like that. And it's just so beautiful. Nice. And we went to this place where it was like a little town. I can't remember where, but we went out and they were like, okay, now we're gonna like turn off all the lights of like the whole place. It's like a really tiny town. There's only like 3 houses or something. But they're like, we're going to turn out all the lights and you can just see the sky. And it was so amazing. And I was like, I just want to go back somewhere like that. Just see the actual night sky, not have a million lampposts. Because back in my town, there's a lamppost curfew. So when it gets past like 10 p.m, all the lampposts go off just to save.
Oh yeah, I suppose a lot of places do that, don't they?
Yeah, make it a bit more like so people can get to sleep. But then again, I say this, but the neighbours across the way, they have one of those bloomin' sensor lights. So every time a fox goes by, it's like floodlights through the window.
Not ideal.
No.
Ew.
But my bedroom's on the other side, so it's fine. It's just my parents it bothers.
Yeah, it's a little bit better where I am because I live quite near to a park, so there's no lights or anything in the park. It's just nice and quiet. But yeah, you still get that light pollution. And I remember I had a friend who lived in Watford, and whenever I would go down there, it was this was actually the friend that had the telescope, so they would have to get very far away from Watford to see anything because the Big Brother studios, you could see them for miles away because they had these massive floodlights that would point up into the sky, and it's like, oh, yep, there it is. You could just see. I think it was Big Brother anyway. It might have been a different TV show, but I think it was Big Brother. But yeah, they had these huge lights that would just shoot up into the sky every single night. And it's like, didn't want to see the stars anyway. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Nightmare.
Yeah. Well, speaking of nightmares and dreams, this is a segue. Shall we listen to your dream?
Let's have a listen. I would say a little listen, but it's another big dream because I'm a rambler. I'm sorry. When Pyrian came on and was like, oh, people, they talk about their dreams for 10 minutes, I was like, oh no.
I was thinking that. I was like, that is us. That's what this podcast is. That's what we do.
That's just what we do.
Oops.
Whoopsie. I thought I was quite concise. Then when I finished the recording, I was like, oh, whoops. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hello. I had a dream I was in a house and there was a party happening. When it came to the end of the night, I was sharing a big double bed with, I think, like 3 girls from school. And Rythian was at the party too, and he had a room of his own, like, down the other end of the house with his own double bed. And the party was happening, people started to filter out, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, man, I'm going to bed. So I got into bed first, and I was like, I get to sleep without all of these other girls, like, hogging the bed. I start going to sleep. So I was sleeping in my dream. And then I think I started dreaming. I can't remember what I dreamt about, but I know that there was a dream in the dream. I think it was about Rythian. I think it was a dream about Rythian's beard. And then in my dream I woke up and I looked at the clock and it was like 11:45, and I was like, is that AM or PM? Is it still the party time? No one's in the bed. And I saw like people were walking around, and I looked out the windows and one of them was bright but one of them was like not bright. So I was like, well, what time is it? And there was like a breakfast bar next to me, next to our bed. And people were starting to sort of go over there and get, like, fry-ups. And I was like, is it the morning? And they're like, yeah, it's the morning. We're all getting breakfast. I'm like, oh, jeez. I slept through it all. So they're getting their breakfast. And people were starting to filter out. And then it's kind of just me and my family at that point, and I assume Rythian is still like asleep because I'm like, oh, I don't want to catch him before he leaves. Then I'm like, oh, I need to go and sort out some stuff. Like there were some cats outside and I'd left some water out for them, so I need to go and change the water. So I went out there, and the things I'd been using for water were like rat Sputniks. So Sputniks are like a thing that you put in rat cages. They're like balls that hang from the ceiling. They have 3 like little anchor points, and they make like a little spaceship for them. And I'd used 2 Sputniks for some reason and just put a bit of water in them for these cats. Oh, that's right. But it was a bit grotty at that point, so I had to clean them out. I put some food down for the cats, and then I brought the Sputniks in to give them a wash, and I took them into the bathroom. And I started cleaning them out, but then there were loads of bugs in them. Like, there were loads of bugs hiding in these Sputniks, like, so many bugs. So, warning, if you don't like bugs, stop listening. But there were, in one of the Sputniks, there were tons of little spiders. Tons and tons. So I'm, like, filling up the sink and trying to wash them out. And then the second one, I put it in the wash, and then these ants started coming out, but they were big. Like, really big ants, like an inch across each one. And I was just like, whoa, there's a lot of ants. So I'm trying to wash them, and I'm like, I don't want to touch them. These little bugs. I'm trying my best. And then at some point, my brother came in, and I was like, can you please open this Sputnik up so I can clean it out properly? And he's like, ugh. And the bigger one, it was full of, like, little pods, which I assume were supposed to be eggs. And I was like, you know what, just bin it, get rid of it. So when my brother wanders off to bin the Sputniks, I said to my dad, I was like, oh, is Rithian still here? And he's like, I don't know, I've not seen him go. And I went and checked Rithian's bedroom, and he wasn't there. And I was like, oh, Rithian's gone? He left without saying goodbye? What the heck, Rithian? And then I went to put the clean Sputniks out in the garden, and it's raining, and I'm stressing because it's raining, and I want to do it quickly, so I'm putting this water out. And I have this, like, broken little tent thing that I'm trying to put over the water. And as I do it, like, 2 cats come and run into the tent, and they're just chilling. And then my dad, who then just turns into a random man who wasn't my dad, he's trying to sell me Sky TV. And I'm like, okay, Dad, yep, okay, Dad. And he's, like, doing this ad read, like, for freaking Sky TV. And I'm just trying to do this stuff with the cats, and I'm getting more and more annoyed. And then eventually I just turn around and I'm going like, Dad, let me just stop your ad read right there. I am not going to buy Sky TV. Why are you reading this out to me? I do not want Sky TV. I'm not interested. And he's like, hang on a minute. Let me just finish my ad read. Let me read my notes. And he keeps reading, and I'm like, And then it just cuts to, like, an actual advert for Sky TV with this girl and her dad, they weren't me or my dad. And it was, like, clips, like home videos as she was growing up of her dad reading about Sky TV and showing her the remotes. And she's like, yeah, very cool, Dad, very cool. And, like, it cuts to, like, her as a teenager and then her as a young adult. And it's like, oh, look at this new Sky remote. Look, it has this button on it. And she's like, oh, yeah, what's the button do? And he presses it, and it's like, plays cool music. And it plays, like, a jingle. And then it stops, freeze frame on his face. And his eyes are just like, Kilby. He clearly didn't like doing these Sky TV ad reads. I don't know why he did them, but he did them for a very long time. This man. And that was it. That was the dream. Never found Rithian. He left. He left without me. How rude. Goodbye.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. When was this dream?
Today. It's fresh off the press. It was this morning.
Oh, I did wonder because... Do you remember literally yesterday
we talked about
didn't
Rithian's
one of
beard?
us have a dream about Rithian's beard? And you were like, probably. And I guess I just planted that seed of like, dream about Rithian's beard.
So I dreamed about Rithian's beard, but it was a dream within a dream.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We're not sponsored by Sky, just before anyone thinks that.
It was really bizarre, the Sky ad read. It was like... this guy was holding up the remotes like through the years, and like he would hold up the really big old chunky one with the coloured buttons on it, and it's like, wow, look at these new remotes. And in my brain I'm like, wow, that's such an old one. Like and then it got newer and newer, and then it got to the one where, which probably doesn't even exist, where you just press a button and it played some music. Yeah. And he was just looked deadpan into the camera like, please end my suffering.
Oh jeez.
Oh my God.
Out of interest. So obviously we know that you dreamt of Rithian's beard because we talk about Rithian's beard a lot and we call him Bearded Man, and it's because of that. But out of curiosity, I thought I'd see what the book would say about it. And it says, to dream of a man with a beard means we must guard against cover-up and deceit.
Oh.
Is Rithian lying to us about
Is he
something?
deceitful?
He's deceiving us. But it also says we perhaps need to consider more masculine attributes in ourselves or others.
Oh.
So
I would love
guess-
a beard.
Well, I've often wondered if I had the ability to grow a beard, would I like one? Because in a way, like I feel like I would choose the beard option out of laziness rather than like shaving your
same.
face seems like a real ball ache.
It does. Real face ache, honestly.
Oh yeah, then there's shaving your balls. By the way, we're sponsored by Manscaped. It's a great segue. But there's like, I feel like it would just be. I think like beards are a good thing, but I think they can also be a bit of a bad thing
Pain
in a
in the
way.
ass.
Yeah, but I also feel sorry for like, in the same way that typically like people who wear makeup a lot, people will be like, oh, you look so nice, you look so nice. And then if they ever see them without makeup, they're like, oh my gosh, are you
okay?
ill? And stuff like that. I feel like I've seen people have a similar reaction when friends of mine who have beards often shave their beard off and everyone's like, oh my gosh, look at you. You're so-"
happened?
And I feel like in a way that's like, obviously it is a big change that people do comment, but I also sort of wish that they wouldn't, because I wouldn't want people to feel like they have to have a beard. Like I've seen like memes before that say like beards are the wonder bra of the face. And I feel like sometimes people do feel that way, that they're like, oh, I need a, like, it's a bit of like a curtain in a way, like not for deceit, but just for self-consciousness, to be like, if I have a beard,
absolutely.
it covers up half my face, and that's part I don't have to worry about. Sort of
Literally,
thing.
that's the entire reason I'm always like, man, I would love a beard. I would totally grow a beard because it just feels like a security blanket.
Yeah.
You know, it's like wearing a mask during COVID, like going out. It just felt great. Honestly, I loved it because it was like, don't have to put any makeup on. Just go out and put a mask on. Nice.
Yeah.
And like a beard would just sort of feel the same, I think.
I get that with like, that was originally why, I mean, I just like it now, but originally I got my fringe cut in because I was like, it just covers more of my face and that's okay.
Yeah, literally. Just like to hide. Just hide. Always hiding.
Always be hiding. Imagine having a fringe and a beard. Just be the nose at
Oh
that
my
point.
god, that would
Nose
be
and
so
the
good.
eyes.
That's the dream. That's the dream.
You don't really get many like fringes on men, do you? Like typically the haircuts seem to have back in my day, the like handsome youths that were in the teen magazines where it was all like curtains were the rage. Like Hanson and who were the other ones? It was like a blonde fella in which was the Irish boy band.
Oh god, I can't remember.
Like fringes seem to be, but not, I guess that's not proper fringes, is it? Like curtains. But then in like, was it like Boy Meets World or whatever, those sorts of shows, Saved by the Bell, I feel like curtains were a very big thing, and then they sort of went out when the noughties.
Yeah, they're definitely not really a
Came
thing
in
anymore, are they? I guess because beards are more in, and both of them together may not work so well.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Aw.
I think I'd take the beard though.
Yeah. I think curtains nowadays feel, it's one of those things like, you know, when you look back and you see photos of people who are only like 25 or something, but in the 60s, and they look really old, and part of it is just because it's like,
It's just
that's
the
just
haircut
because,
and stuff.
yeah, like how they dress and the haircut is just associated with an older time, so that's why. So I feel like curtains have become a bit like that now. It just puts you in mind of, the 90s.
90s boy band style.
Yeah. Oh, heartthrob. That's the word I was looking for. All the
Teen
heartthrobs.
heartthrob.
They all had that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I think, I don't know. I know what you mean. I think it's just, like you say, the times have moved on and we're now in a beard era.
Yeah.
And it's a good era, in my opinion. Keep them coming. Keep them beards growing.
I love beards. Did you ever go through the fear of beards when you were little?
I don't think I did, but honestly, I don't know if I really knew many people with a beard, like a proper beard.
I had a friend who she went through such a fear of beards to the point where her dad just had to shave his beard off because she just wouldn't really look at him. Aww. He was fine. He was hoping that if he grew a beard, it would make her not scared of them.
Yeah.
But it just got worse the longer it got. So she was shave it off.
My brother had the opposite problem with my nephew. So my brother always has a little beard. He's not got a big full face beard, but he has a beard, a little bit more than a stubble. And one time he shaved it off and my nephew just cried because he didn't recognize him.
Oh.
I was like, who are you?
Oh, bless.
Where'd all the face hair go?
Oh. That's the other thing about beards is I feel sorry for when people feel like their beard isn't enough. Because all beards are valid. Maybe you can't grow the full bear. Not everyone can be Rithian, but I still appreciate all, the tufty beards, the patchy beards. They're all good beards.
We appreciate all the beards.
Yeah. We're sponsored by Beard. Big Beard. That's what we call Rithian. He now pays for this.
Yay! When's our first paycheck coming in?
Rithian?
Rithian?
Doing all this good beard propaganda.
I have a feeling Rithian knows that this episode is going to be all about him. We've just been annoying him in DMs all morning.
Yeah.
He's going to be listening to this episode on Saturday oh no, what's happened now?
What are the women up to now? Colluding about beards. What else can I look up in the book? What else happened in this? Because I don't think Sky advert will be in there. You were sharing a bed at some point?
I was sharing a bed. There was a party. There was breakfast. There were 2 windows, one dark, one light. That feels quite significant.
Ooh.
What else was there?
It says to be going to bed with someone else, but I feel like this is very specific to taking someone to bed rather than just going to bed with someone.
Yeah.
Because it says can variously represent either our sexual attraction to that person or indicate that we have no fear of them. Oh, okay, so it could be.
Well, the girls that I was supposed to be sharing this bed with, I never actually saw them. I just knew that they were going to be in bed at some point, but I went to bed early and I woke up late, so I didn't see them. But they were girls that I didn't really get on with at school. Oh. They were people that, just people that I wasn't really friends with.
Well, it goes on to say a bed can represent a form of spiritual sanctuary and a sense of purity. So maybe you feel like your sanctuary has been okay, throwing this out there as an example, maybe if someone came into chat or into the YouTube comments recently and was mean, but that's a happy space for you because it's your stream or content you enjoy making, and now you've got someone in your sanctuary being a dick. No. I wonder if it'd be something like that.
Maybe. I'm trying to think.
Broken in. This reminds me though, I sent a risky message to 2 of my friends yesterday being okay, hear me out. This is a weird thing to say, but my point is that it shouldn't be weird. I was I wish it was acceptable for friends to have baths together.
Aww.
Because I was just saying I would love to just hang out with you both, have some platonic good time fun. Just have like, get some candles lit, just talk about our day, have a couple of bath bombs, turn the lights down, and it just be not weird. They used to do it in Roman times. You'd all go to the bath together.
No, and in Japan too, like the bathhouse.
I just wish it wasn't like, oh, you're having a bath together, eh? Wait. No, it's like, no, I just want it, because I feel like it's acceptable if you have like a jacuzzi or a hot tub outside. Why not in your house where it's cozier? And then I made it sort of worse for myself because my friend messaged me being like, yeah, like just get like a big tub. And I replied, because I'm a goblin, I replied like, no, we'd be spooning. It'd be a small tub. And then she was like, oh. I was like, no, I do mean, yeah, like a nice spacious tub. But yeah, I just wish it wasn't weird to have baths with your friends. This is my sword to fall on now.
Oh my gosh.
I just think it would be so...
You should have just messaged me. I would have been like, fuck yeah, that sounds great.
Should we just do it now? I mean, wasn't there a video about us, how we had a bath together the first time we met anyway or something? I can't remember the context.
On stream, I was watching this the other day. So on stream, you said something about a bath and I said, oh, that reminds me of the first time we met. And you were like, what, when we had a bath together? And I was like, yeah, lol. Yeah. And the people in the YouTube comments were like, wait, I've missed something. They had a bath together? And we were like, no, not yet.
Now we could do. I just think it would be nice. I think there's just things that society has made weird and they shouldn't be. And I think just platonic intimacy
bathing
should be one of them. It should be brought back. And I am single-handedly going to do it by bathing with all my friends. Whether they like it or not.
Perfect. I can't wait.
Excellent.
I can't wait, honestly. But I'll tell you something. I honestly didn't really see many of my friends to offer them a bathing time in the stream because Ridian left before saying goodbye.
Unbelievably rude. I wonder
Unbelievable.
if goodbye would goodbye in, and I just opened the page and it was just
goodbye.
Cock. Like, oh, hello.
Oh.
Sometimes this book does surprise me. What's the opposite of a greeting?
Farewell. Goodbye. Parting.
Oh, I wonder if parting would be in there.
Parting.
Is it going to talk about curtains again?
Oh, maybe. Teen heartthrobs.
To dream of hair partings. No, it's not in there. I just wondered if like saying goodbye or the absence of saying goodbye was going to be a thing, but no.
Yeah. I wonder. Like, I'm trying to think.
I mean, has Ridian, just tell me everything. How has he offended you recently?
How has he offended me? Well, let me count the ways.
Why are you so angry at Ridian?
Why are you always such a bitch, Ridian? That's an in-joke for anybody who doesn't know. I'm sorry, I'm not calling him a bitch.
I was thinking this the other day, because when we first started doing Kirby Craft, and there was that person who commented on one of the VODs being like, why are Kirsty and Brownie, especially Brownie, always so mean to Ridian? And I was like, no, we're just friends. And he gives as good as he gets.
He does. He bloody does.
But it's fine because we've single-handedly ruined his reputation. So, did I tell you about the comment on a video that I saw about him the other day?
No.
It was him talking about the shulker boxes and the noise that they make. It was that video.
Oh, yeah.
And so many people were replying to it or commenting on it being like, classic Ridian humor.
Classic Ridian.
And then one person said, how can you call this classic Ridian when he didn't even mention how much he hates women? And I was like, oh, jeez. I was like, have we gone too far? We've had actually just destroyed his reputation now.
Well, speaking of which, he's just sent us a link to a Reddit post that says, "Girls are like strawberries. Sometimes they are in the grocery store." Thanks, Rithian.
True. It is true.
It's
It's
true.
insightful and true.
Technically the truth. No, to clear anything up, we love Rithian. Rithian is our best friend and we love him very, very, very much.
Yes. We've
And
been
he's
trying
also-
to plan how we can go and visit him in Sweden.
In Sweden. We want to go to
Iridian
Sweden.
is from Sweden.
Iridian is from Sweden and we want to go there.
Yeah.
Then we can all have a nice bath together.
Yeah. I wonder if it's more acceptable in Sweden because I feel like Scandinavians have like, maybe I'm getting mixed up with like Iceland and stuff, but they got lagoons, geysers, what are they called? Where you go and just hang out in like natural water. So I guess that's pretty much the same.
Do they have that
I
in
guess
Sweden?
Maybe. We should
Maybe.
ask him. But I feel like maybe that sort of thing would be more acceptable. Because I've seen people jumping in like rivers and lakes in Bristol and I'm just like, ugh, really? You want to go in there? Okay. Fair play. It's just, yeah, it feels very disease riddled.
It does a bit, yeah. It does.
Um,
Oh my goodness. This is just turning into the Rithian podcast, isn't it?
it is. We should get him back on.
We need to just get him back on.
Yeah, he was calculating the other day how long it is until he can acceptably come back on. And what was it, like 70, episode 71 or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
So we just have to like bish bash bosh, put some more like short episodes out, one every
These
day
are
for the
all
next week.
Filler episodes until Rithian can come back.
Yeah. Oh dear.
But yeah, I'm just trying to think about anything else in this dream. Like,
I was really hoping that talking about dreams was gonna like spark some recollection of the dreams I've been having. Because you know when you wake up and you have like a vague glimpse of them. Like I know that my one last night was something to do with like an abacus or putting like tiles into slots, or it was something very like tactile. and
that was
puzzly.
probably because of the Escape Academy stream you and Rithian did.
True.
So once again,
It's just Rithian.
sneaks his way in.
The secret third member of Comfort Zone, even when he's not
Yeah.
a guest.
Yeah, it's all we talk about. It's all we think
Yeah.
about. It's just Rithian. Yeah.
He's going to listen to this and he's going to get that
He
real
is.
thing of like,
Just
You
shut up and talk
know-
about something else.
well, I was going to say the opposite. You know, when you get things that are like, what's it called? Like first player syndrome or something, where you feel like you are the, or like main character.
main character syndrome.
Yeah, he's going to be like, bloody hell, like maybe I am the main character in this. But like, I was talking, wait, how did we get onto this? I was talking to Alistair yesterday about imagination, but I can't remember why.
Okay.
And I said something about, so I was asking if he was a figment of my imagination. I can't remember why. But
Right.
I was like, he was like, what would you do if I told you that all of this is your imagination?
Oh my God.
And I started having this thing of like, okay, so hypothetically, like if I was imagining this entire world, why wouldn't, like the first question would be, why wouldn't you imagine it better? Obviously, because why would you imagine a world with upsetting things? But then, and I also was like, why wouldn't I just imagine me better? Like if I'm imagining the world, why aren't I like Doja Cat or something? And he was like, oh, you're just too, like, what's the word? Like, self-conscious to have made, yourself Doja Cat. So, I just had, like, a slight existential crisis. Trying to work out if the
Thanks,
world
Alistair.
was real or if I was imagining everything. But I guess sometimes do you ever get that sort of feeling where you're like, it's like I remember when I was about 16, one of my friends telling me about this theory that we're all constantly only imagining like a room, and then when we walk into the next room, everything else disappears or something. And like when you don't, like it was stuff like that, and how like we're actually like the world when we walk in our world. Everything turns around us and stuff, and we're staying in the same place. This was like real. You know, when you get like teenagers and they're like, yeah, my thoughts are so big. Oh my God. It was that sort of stuff that they were spouting.
Right.
But it just reminded me back to those days of just when you do start having these like, because there was something that happened the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, it's the Matrix. I can't remember what it was though. Oh, right. I get this feeling. I've just been rambling for like 5 minutes.
No, this is very interesting.
She says as she tries to get me sectioned. Yep. Just keep talking. Just phoning this number. This is all going in the spreadsheet. So whenever I'm watching those videos on YouTube of, you know, when you get, I've forgotten the name of the guy, but he'll like go to like Indonesia or China or Japan, and he catch them out by, he just knows every language. Like, he just learns languages.
Yeah.
Whenever I watch stuff like that, there's part of me that genuinely goes, it's because it's the Matrix and he just downloads the languages into his head. No one else could actually do that. That's when I start getting the feeling of like, oh my gosh, it's real.
Oh my God.
It's real. Because I've always thought, like, imagine if you were in the Matrix and they could just do that thing of being like, I want to be a rocket scientist. And they're just like, here's the rocket scientist tape. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Down you are one. Like, how much better would that be than trying to learn anything?
It would be great. It would be so handy. And I wish that we could do that. The Matrix has ruined that for me. It's
yeah.
Just download it into my brain so I know Kung Fu.
This is my TED Talk. I want to have a bath with Kirsty and people not judge me for it. And I just want to download languages into my head. Are those two things too much to ask for? I don't think so.
Was that two things? I think that was more than two things.
They come under two categories. It is fine. This is what happens when I don't have a dream to bring to the table. I'm like, I'm going to empty my head one way or another. Here are the thoughts in the non-pre-dream packaged form. And I'm sitting down this week, so I don't have that excuse.
I had a thing that I was going to add to this conversation. Oh, it was, I've had a dream once where I completely disassociated from myself. And I was looking at myself from above. And I had no recollection of who I was or anything like that. It was very Matrixy in that sense.
Ooh.
Like, it was like watching myself on TV sort of thing. But for the first time, because I knew nothing about myself. It was very strange. Very, 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 very weird.
Yeah.
And that really did make me sort of question real life for a little while. I was like, am I real? Is this real life? I don't know. I do not know.
Been having it recently with you know when you get like the Mandela effect? I have had that recently in a really strong way with Dave the Diver, that game that everyone loves. Because so basically, my version of events is that Dave the Diver has been a thing since my childhood. It's a remake of a game that I played as a child. And then I was looking it up and I was like, because then people started talking about Dave the Diver and I was like, oh my gosh, they're like, I didn't say this, but I was like, oh, they're bringing it back.
That.
They've remade it. That's really cool. And then I looked it up and it's just a completely new game. And I honestly spent like half an hour searching like original Dave the Diver remake. And I was like, why can't I find any screenshots of the original game that they've remade it from? And I was like, it's just a new game. And I have no idea where this has come from. But I've had that real sense of like, this thing
That's
that was
so
very
weird.
real to me has
That's
just
really
gone.
bizarre.
It's like, yeah, I think it must just be that I played a different diving game on the PS1 when I was like 8.
Yeah.
And I've just
Yeah.
associated it. But I swear I've heard the name Dave the Diver when I was
Before.
little. I guess it's just the alliteration, isn't it? There probably was something.
Maybe, yeah.
the two
Well, it's
words.
like there are a bunch of subreddits that I follow just because they're just interesting to see. Mainly, I think they're like creative writing exercises, and so they're just fun to read. But
Yeah.
stuff like Glitch in the Matrix, and there's another one. But basically, the idea is that if you have a near-death experience, you get tossed into an alternate reality.
Oh.
And people say that the Mandela effect is a result of that. Like in the reality they came from, this was a thing that existed. Like Dave the Diver was a game and it's been remade now.
Yeah.
So there's all of these stories where it's like, oh, I had the most wonderful life. It was so happy and great, and I was gonna get married, blah blah blah. And then I had this car crash, and when I woke up, I didn't have a fiance anymore. They didn't exist, like stuff like that. And it's just
Jeez.
like, I mean, maybe not to that extent, but you get the idea. And yeah, they're just really interesting to read. They're very fun. I mean, they're not fun, but they are fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're depressing, but they're fun to read.
It's just like, it's such a weird feeling when you get stuff like that. I mean, I guess in a way it's sort of similar-ish to when you have a dream about something that feels very real, but it's mundane enough that you don't question it. And then suddenly you're just like, oh, no, hang on, that didn't happen at all. Because I've had stuff like that where, like, just like having little conversations with someone, and then you go to reference it, and then they're like, what? And you're like, oh, that was
that didn't
entirely a hallucination on my part. Very sorry.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, I get that. I totally get that.
Do you ever get the thing where if you dream about someone else, and typically if you dream about them in a spicy way, you feel like they know somehow? And obviously it's just that you're aware of them and you're picking up on or misreading anything they say or do, any body language, because you're aware of it. But I get that feeling, and I'm just like, they know.
They know I had a spicy dream.
When I was in secondary school, I think I had a dream about, I don't know, some person in the year above me. And even though we didn't really know each other, it just so happened that the next day I walked by them and we made eye contact, and I was like, oh my gosh, they know, they're going to tell the whole school. Obviously, it's just that I was walking by and they looked at me, but that was enough for me to be like, that's it. Nope, they're going to tell everyone. Everyone knows.
No. Dreams are weird.
They are. I think
Yeah, they're pretty
we're
weird.
just weird in general as well. Just people. People are
Just
so
us specifically.
strange. It's like when I was reading that subreddit the other day, I keep thinking back to this. I read this subreddit that was, because it was suggested for me, and I don't know why, but I fell for it. It was very clickbaity, but it was like, what is your turn on that you're ashamed of? And there were so many things that were just like stemmed from like the tiniest thing. Like there was one person who said, I used to have a crush on this like very Christian guy, to the point where he wouldn't make like contact with anyone before marriage, sort of thing. So there was like no hugging, no like linking of arms or anything, even though they were friends. And
right.
They said like the first time that we ever touched was he lent me a pencil, and it just so happened that like our fingers
Our
brushed.
hands touched.
Yeah, literally, like he handed me a pencil and our fingers brushed together. And they were like, from then on, that was it. That was my thing. So like when I get a new partner, I have to be like, can we just not touch each other for the first week, because I need that rush, sort of thing. And it's like, it's so strange how like these tiny, like I was thinking about this the other day because I was watching, who won't name who because I don't want to make them uncomfortable, but I was watching a cooking stream, and at one point they were like, okay, I'm going to do the washing up now. Just put the marigolds on. And it reminded me that I genuinely had a friend who used to have a marigold fetish, like the rubber gloves.
Oh, no.
So every time I see them now, I'm like, oh. But I did want to be like, just so you know, that's a thing for some people. So you might not want to do it on stream because, to be honest, everything is for someone.
Everything is, yeah. It's like these sneezing compilations you find. And so every time you sneeze on stream, it's like, well, gotta be on YouTube now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, geez. It's just everything. Yeah. Everything. It can be a kink.
It's just unavoidable that at some point
Unavoidable.
you'll do something that for someone. It's like it's high noon somewhere in the world. Like it's sexy somewhere in the world for someone. But it made me have this discussion with some friends the other day about whether, like, how these sorts of things come about. Like, do you reckon that there could be some unknown, like, kink inside all of us, and you just happen to have this weird set of circumstances and you're just like, oh my gosh, what is this? Or do you reckon that people are drawn towards those things because it's already there and it's just their mind being like, go on, do the thing. Do the thing. Like that guy who joked about piss play so much and then was like, turns out that's my thing. Was he joking about it because deep down he knew and he just didn't want to face it?
I think probably a bit of column A, bit of column B, honestly. I reckon sometimes it's like, you know, they joke about it so much that a part of them is like, actually, I really like this. And
I'll try it once as a joke. Just for the lulz.
Just as a joke, Laval. just as a little joke.
Pee on me, JK.
Unless.
Y/N.
Where is this episode gone?
I blame Rithian's beard. But I find that sort of stuff just like fascinating. Just like, I guess in the way that like the first series of Big Brother was fascinating because it was this new like experiment that was like, how do people react in this time? And then obviously after series 2, it became this thing where people just wanted to be on the telly and it became this whole other beast. But that sort of stuff, because I then told you how I accidentally fell for searching by controversial and then I closed that subreddit very quickly because it was just horrendous. But yeah, I do just find it sort of like when you step back and don't think of it as being like, because obviously they are very intimate things, but if you just look at them objectively, I do find it interesting how different we all are and how...
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I dread to think what this week's question is going to be, though, for the listeners.
What are you ashamed of?
No.
Would you bath with your friends? I don't know. What is something that is seen as weird by society, but you wish wasn't? But obviously within like limitations. I don't mean
don't get too sexy.
Like getting your knob out in public. Like, you know, something.
I love getting my knob out in public. But every time I do it, I just get arrested.
Did I tell you about that thing I saw on Facebook the other day where there was some article about, this was in the Bristol Post, I think. It was an article about how someone wanted to pay off their vet bill for their dog, so they started an OnlyFans, and then they paid it off and they enjoyed it, so they carried on. But, like, all good to them. Fair play, you go. But the Facebook comments was like, I can't remember the name of this guy, but he was like, oh, like, I wish I could just get my knob out and, you know, start, like, not have to work anymore. And then there was a reply to that one that was this lady being like, oh, yeah, I'm fed up of shift work. Wish I could just get my flaps out. She was like, I've told my dad I'm just going to get my flaps out online and stop working. It's like, okay.
Okay.
There's just like a special brand of Facebook comment.
There really is. There really, really is. I just avoid Facebook at all costs.
I only go on there because it's got like my hamster and my bunny group, so I'll go on there for advice. But because of being in Bristol, it'll just be like Bristol Online, Bristol Post, and these things pop up, and sometimes I do fall for them, and they're like, oh god, then what are the comments? Like a what's it called? Like a guilty pleasure. Just being like, okay, what have they said?
Yeah,
and
literally.
a lot of the time it's just people being a bit, but sometimes you do get, classic Susan and her flaps. I hope she does it. Go for it, Susan.
Good for Susan.
For you.
You do you, Susan. Get your flaps out.
You earn that dollar.
Earn that dollar. It's better than working 8 till 10 at Asda.
Yes,
just fucking yas. Do it. Oh my god. This has been a wild ride.
Beard to flaps in 57 minutes. A hobbit's tale. There and flap again. We're gonna get a guest on next week. Don't you worry. It won't just be us. We've been left to our own devices for too long.
Yeah, far too long. There and flap again. If only we didn't have the structure for the titles. I think there and flap again would be the best.
We're in the new era of comfort zone now. Oh dear. Well,
oh my god.
On that note, sorry everyone.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Ridian.
Sorry, just to apologise to just everyone.
Everyone.
We'll release an apology
Except
video.
Susan and her flaps.
She should apologise to no one. I fully support her.
Yeah. Go, Susan.
You go. Reminds me, I've been winding up one of my friends by saying just like, "Yas, queen," and like, "Pussy be popping off" and stuff. And they tried to join in the other day by sending me a message saying, "Pop your pussy out." And I was like, nope, that's no.
That's not, no.
That's not quite.
Not quite.
Nope. But to Susan, maybe. Maybe.
Unless.
Oh dear.
Well, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you've made it this far.
Yeah, congratulations.
Any complaints can be sent to dav@yogscast.com. Just
Ridian,
send them. Ridian@yogscast.com. I assume that's everyone's email. Just
Probably.
whoever you want to complain to, just send it there. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. And until next time. Oh, and thank you, Kirsty.
Bye for now. Thank you, Briny. Oh.
We're
so
going to
much.
go have a bath together and relax.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait.
Nice.
Perfect.
Until next time, everyone. Bye-bye
Until
for now.
next time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.